Lands on Thompson.
A bit too aggressive there, but Thompson will throw down the call down just to clear the
The Shackle actually reaches across the trees, but no tell. He's there with the shield. Thompson goes for the TPL. The focus fired out the damage. It's not enough. Thompson saved. A spray on the way out. Thompson will escape. Liquid, it's 9-6 in their favor, but the net worth difference, it's pretty much even. As you say, sure, Liquid, they are bringing the aggression, finding the kills, but space is being given to those important members of OG.
Yeah, especially Ana. Halfway to that Aghanims already. Level 11 finished up. He's got the Spirits applied slow, so he can fight as soon as he has that Aghanims, of course, with the talent, but the big one is that 15, that extra Spirit Hero damage that does come out. But yeah, look at this immediately. Seb now positioned up top. He wants to push the top tower as soon as Liquid is positioned in mid. And Jarek's already looking to set up down toward the bottom lane. Liquid have to just get these towers. Have to get some type of map advantage here.
Once Ana has the Aghanims, things are going to start getting very tricky for Liquid when they turn up like this.
Yeah.
The Spirits will be out.
Yeah, and they have Bristle. That's a good thing, right? Bristle can be good versus the IO. If you can get on top of him, the goo, you don't have the highest armor traditionally on the IO, but he's versus an actual counter. Timbersaw, very good versus Bristle back at all stages.
Are fortified.
It's just that farm game, OG.
They've got mind control. Looking towards Seb up top, but it's hard really for these heroes without the shackle shot or GH getting a beautiful angle. It's very hard for them to kill Seb.
It's very hard for them to kill pretty much anybody if they don't have Weehawk. If they can catch some of the supports and running around by themselves, they can maybe pick them up, but they really need Weehawk for the damage. The rest of them do not really provide that at this point of the game versus what they're against. Magnetize can be good, but there's a lot of ways that they can deal with it. Not only with the tankiness of how they are, but also there's an Abaddon who can just remove it a lot of the times.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And Seb, he could just get away with this, pushing this wave into the tier 2 every single time, knowing that sure, if Liquid do come for him, it's going to be so many of their resources that it's probably going to be worth it for OG to have Seb positioned that aggressively and for him to draw that much attention towards him. Thompson's getting space, Ana's getting space.
Look at that build by Thompson. Diffusal Gyrocopter.
Wait, what?
Diffusal? Gyrocopter, I just said it.
Treads Diffusal Gyrocopter. Fancy that, Thompson.
So
doing something that I don't think I've ever seen this.
Kind of. I mean, it's interesting because it's going to provide a lot of mana burn, which is going to be annoying for
Okay.
It gives you a lot of agility, and it gives you ways to run around and chase heroes down, I guess.
It's different. They've got the kill swap, getting mobile again.
They can transition this into a Roche. DD rune on the Bristleback, they've got Pipe. Yeah, they can easily do this one with the Medallion as well. However, OG, they know what's going on. They can look to contest this as well. As do they have the Aghanims finished up? It's almost there for Ana. And they're pinging it. They seem, now they're aware of it, but it looks like it's almost too low for them to contest with all this minus armor. And Liquid will get away with this one.
Well, let's see what they can do with it. Aegis, Pipe, they have those early tools to start making moves. Start looking towards some of these tier 2 towers.
Ags is complete now on the IO. So Ags IO finished, and we're about to hit 20 minutes. So I'm assuming that OG's gonna buy the tome, give it to that IO so he gets the extra spirit damage. Liquid, they gotta group up and try to get something big here. They gotta catch out these backlines heroes. They really have to get on top of the IO with a nice shackle shot for we got to focus fire him. They have to control and stun the IO.
Hunting for Ana. I won't quite find, but definitely, yeah, thinking about it, this diffusal blade, I see what you mean. It does make sense, right? There is, you look at what Miracle and Mind Control in particular.
They're completely dependent on their mana.
And they're dependent on the fights being drawn out, right? Yeah. They revel in situations where the fight continues. And sure, they can't kill them quickly necessarily, OG, but Thompson, he can burn, he's going to take their mana away, and they're going to be essentially some of these useless, tanky targets on the front that OG can then ignore and look for the more volatile kills.
And he's acting as this like super frontliner. And Bristleback is a hero that if you don't have mana, you don't have damage. So if he's just going to be burning the Bristle, I can see it. You know, I can see it. And he's super farmed, and look how tanky he is. 2,000 HP on the Gyro. There's going to be an MKB finish now for Weehawk, so his damage is going to be very high as Seb's getting slowed down. He's got greens available, but he's getting burst.
I mean, they're bringing him low. He's got the shield. Now they'll be able to turn. Cooldown's dropped down by Thompson. And here we have it. His mana's gone, he's able to pop the stick, get it a fair bit of it back, and he's able to head back in, pushing OG back behind the racks. They're getting a good amount of damage onto this tier 3 tower. Liquid, they push on.
On Io, that Spirit Hero damage is there now. Ana gonna join the fray finally.
There we have it, Miracle's mana. It's pretty much entirely gone by Thompson's smoke. Still looks for GH. But he can't get out, there's no mana. GH, he's dead, and now OG, they have that numbers advantage for this defense. They'll try and change the ball. Thompson, the rocket barrage brings Miracle down. There's the shackle turn around. They're looking for Jarek. Jarek's backing away. Thompson focusing Miracle. Miracle's still out of mana because of this diffusion. Jarek, he's able to cover. The GA is out. We hold on for though. The magic damage is there for Thompson. Miracle's trying to run. Another stick charge pop, but Jarek can shut him off. In fact, Jarek, he's ready to try and look for more potentially. There's only the once. Thompson, he's on top of Kuro. Another cooldown there. The toss back into the combo. Jarek has the control. They're all getting picked apart as mind control falls. Miracle is surrounded, and they're all able to get this as well. OG, they will hold.
And they're even taunting. They taunt him to the dragon. Holy crap. Thompson, the defusal is absolutely working. Burns all their mana.
But I don't think anyone would have expected to see Gyro, the deciding game. The defusal play, Gyro, it is perfect for this point of the match.
He just did an insane amount of damage, frontlined the entire time, and then Ana just has free reign to get all that Spirit Hero damage, and it's back completely the other way, and it feels like the control is just gone for them.
What do you do? When your mana's gone, what do you do?
Oh my god. OG starting to...
Keen Gaming's turn to ban. PSG.LGD's turn to ban. Keen Gaming's PSG.LGD's turn to ban. Keen Gaming's turn to ban. PSG.LGD's turn to ban.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here for game 1 of a best of 3 between PSG.LGD and Keen Gaming. This is Peter and Johnny's Fire John. May I just say, I love the fact that LGD has actually gone ahead and first banned Broodmother.
I mean, well, Xnova is drafting. Xnova had to play against it. We don't blame the guy for going out and banning it because he was reminded that the hero exists and he would not. No one would really want to play against that, so I can't blame him.
No. Fair enough. For LGD, they did lose, which I didn't really see what Keen Gaming chose. It was pick or side, but LGD, they do have the first pick. They do go for the Pugna pickup, and I'm really liking the fact that this meta involves so many flexible pickups in these stages of the draft, right? Like, every draft we've seen now, the first pick or two is always a flex pick.
Yeah, it's quite to have that flexibility. I think Dota has kind of revolved around that flex picks for a while now. Like, remember Venge Core, when it could be support as well? From around that era, Slardar as support, Clockwork as support, which still comes out now. So it's always good to have these kind of pocket picks. Keen does go with something a bit more straightforward in comparison, though. Ember, Spirit, Oracle, much more defined, although I suppose you could experiment with the Ember 4 if you wanted to. We have seen that a couple of times, definitely a possibility, but if they are looking to run it as core, I think that this does mean Keen maybe expects the Pugna core to come out here. The laning magic for Ember isn't the best, but it's not the worst as well. Like, the Ember can start shooting up at a point, so there is a way to kind of counterplay around that, but LGD does jump into the Shaker themselves, so they're giving themselves team fight on top of that great magic damage and push potential the Pugna's bringing. It does kind of tie in for a very balanced draft. Pugna Shaker as support duo, though, it does have some holes. So we'll really still find out whether or not that Pugna will be a core support.
I think it must be a support, this Pugna. Like it's flexible, right? Like you can put it wherever you want. But we've been seeing quite a bit of pause popping up as of late, and it really wouldn't surprise me if next time that I'm going to play the Pugner and just keep run healed up, being a nuisance in lane. Still, it is, like I said, very open, right? And perhaps with an Earthshaker, it may not be the way you really want to run that support lineup. So I'm very excited to see we're going to see an FY Earthshaker coming out. It's always a treat to see the man with this kind of hero. King Gaming, however, they do go for a Clockwork pick now as their third pick, and again, it's another flex pick. You really don't know where this Ember and Clock is going quite yet.
Yeah, it's, there is potential that I think it's more likely it's going to be a Clockwork support. That's just a very nice spot for the hero to be in. Doesn't require too much farm. The Ember Spirit would certainly enjoy that farm much more, but it is kind of risky when it's your first pick for mid. There are ways for LGD to draft around that. I think they kind of find the answer. Beastmaster is great control for the Ember Spirit, really reliable control. So if you're looking for that Ember Spirit to be pretty slippery here, you're going to have to contend with that Roar. Not only that, but LGD with the Pugna and the Beastmaster have really good push. They have such strong potential to melt these towers early on. Keen has to kind of be careful about giving any sort of space away because they don't, and they have some good wave clear with the Ember Spirit, but Clockwork and Oracle can't really deep push if it's pushing in hard. And the Pugna and Beastmaster should be able to make short work of most objectives on the map.
Should definitely be the case. Like LGD, they really have the ability to finish this game very, very quickly if they get a nice lead for themselves. In terms of lane dominance as well, like we're talking about winning that early game and starting to snowball for LGD. Pugna's a hell of a hero to have to verse in lane, whether it's a support or a core. Beastmaster's just as bad. Like it's so hard to verse a Beastmaster in a laning stage. Let alone if you put both of them together. King Gaming, they do go to the Venomancer, John. Now, we saw this yesterday. I don't particularly like the Venom right now. I still think it's very, very weak. But I suppose their idea here is there's maybe going to be a support Pugna. Let's kind of nerf that healing that it's going to provide and just make it useless anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we saw King Gaming run the Venomancer yesterday. It was them playing that hero, so they actually give it the shout for the fast earn, and it does have great presence in that way. LGD, though, going all in on that push, right? The Lycan, the Beast, the Pugna, these objectives are not going to stand. King Gaming need to get themselves a really strong way of stopping that push. They need to be online a bit faster. The Venomancer can take a bit of cooking before it's ready. You can play it a bit faster if it is a support, but at core you do kind of build up a couple of items first. You would want Keen to enable their Ember Spirit in this case. It's really going to be their driving force. That and the Clockwork jumping in. So there is some potential there for Keen to start fighting early, but they have to really be careful about getting split push in the process.
I can't believe LGD got Pugna, Beastmaster, and Lycan.
Yeah.
When you see the Pugna Beastmaster, you must be thinking to yourself they're going to run Lycan as well. Any team that does get Beastmaster and has the option to choose Lycan chooses Lycan, without a doubt. Every single time. I'm surprised Keen allowed that to happen. How do you deal with him now?
10 seconds remaining.
You can't.
Yeah.
You haven't got the heroes for it. Like, some would argue maybe Ember, but the Ember's going to take time, John. Beastmaster like it. They don't take time. They're up and online 15 minutes.
Yeah, and again, the Beastmaster is pretty darn good control for the Ember, so you're not going to have that ability to really just safely push the lane. You're going to have to worry about the Beast just coming in with a Roar. The control King Gaming has for the Lycan isn't the best. Like, they've got the Root from the Oracle, the Chains from the Ember, and the Clockwork Cogs if you can land them, although locking in the Lycan can be detrimental to the clock, especially if the Wolves are stuck in there as well. Your battery assault isn't guaranteed to hit the Lycan, so you're going to be copying a lot of hits anyway from that Lycan. There are some issues here for King Gaming's draft. It is certainly looking good for LGD. Like, no matter what positions they run it does certainly look like it's shaping up to be that Pugna support. with that, I think the rest of this lineup just doesn't require too much. Like, you're waiting for the Lycan to get maybe a Dominator or a fast Necrobook. Same thing with Beastmaster, Dominator or fast Necrobook, and once one of those items are up, you can just shove in the lane. You can grow big that way. It's not a very hard thing to do with this lineup. Keen, especially with his Venomancer, has to consider whether or not to invest in the Gale build or the Wards build. I think when you're looking for a way of holding out and defending your towers, the Ward build is much more reliable in keeping your towers safe rather than the Gale. You're going to lose out on some laning presence. You're going to lose out on some kill potential. But you can defend those early objectives with a Venomancer, with some early prioritization in those Venom wards.
I just don't see what they're gonna do, John. I really don't see how King Gaming is gonna deal with what LGD is throwing at them. They do have one more pick. They still have the chance to really have something to deal with all this, but what could they choose? You still need a core pick up here, unless you want to run the Ember Clock Veno core, but that's just such a weak core lineup. I'm confused, John. I don't know what King can do here to really turn this around.
Yeah, it's their puzzle is limited. Yeah, it's really good maneuvering from LGD to get them in the spot to draft. They're thinking really hard about their last pick too, though. Like, it's we've ticked through all of their reserve time for the last pick. They do opt for the Queen of Pain. So they've got high mobility in the Queen of Pain that can take these team fights early on if they wanted to. King Gaming goes into the Tide, so we are looking at a rather strange draft from Keen. The Tide does give them control, right? We were talking about lacking lockdown for the Lycan. Ravage is a very solid way of keeping that Lycan in place. And in a way, the Tide Hunter can de-push, right? Like, he goes in, he anchor smashes, he can kind of kill out the wave that way. It's just, you're tied into Ravage now. Whereas LGD is really not depending on too many cooldowns, even Shapeshift. It's not the most important thing for a push. You could just go in with Pugna and your summons anyway.
That's my point. Like, I guess Keen Gaming really had no other options. It kind of just had to, okay, we gave him the Beastmaster, we gave him Lycan, what do we do now? We go Tide Hunter, that's really one of the better options they could see for themselves. Is it a good pick? I don't know. If we're talking the super late game, where Tide Hunter has, you know, a Deso and is just anchor smashing like a truck, sure. But early game, I don't know. I think LGD's got this in the bag, and I don't like to call these things early on, John, but Beastmaster, Lycan, Pugna on the same team, and it's LGD.
Yeah, it's pretty sickening. Keen Gaming is running the core Venomancer as well. I believe Blood is going to be playing that down mid. This is in stark contrast to last time. I believe that was the YDS or Xiao Fu Venomancer. So you had different farm prioritization for that hero, and you definitely had a different build. So something to watch out for Keen is how they kind of skill up the Venomancer. The laning phase against the Queen of Pain, it can be a toss-up depending on how aggressive you play. But it does feel like the Queen of Pain should be able to at least match the farm, although it should be a bit more efficient for the Venomancer to start jungling early with wards. So if you opt for the wards build, you're going to be able to get a lot more jungle farm in between waves. But if you go for the Gale, really kind of dubious whether or not you can land it in something like the Queen of Pain. She can just kind of blink away as well, so probably not the best matchup for the Venomancer to play super aggressively in.
Why is giving his respect to FY?
Nothing touches the heart like my venom.
FY will not respond. So that's what cool guys do, John. They don't respond when they call the god. Just stay quiet.
Yeah. Only Levin responds to it. I don't quite understand what he typed. Yes, FY as well.
What is that, FY?
Just keyboard smashing?
Keep gaming. They're going to go for a very early pickoff here. X-Nova on that pulse 5 Pugna. It's going to be okay. He does go for a very early brown boots. It does allow him to avoid that gank. Fun thing as well for X-Nova, John. He's only got one tango. He's shared 2, and just as a really good pulse 5 player, He's left with 0 regen.
Yeah, it's I mean, who needs regen when you can just run away? Like, there's no way one DS can get any right clicks off with his move speed impediment, and Fantasy as well could probably trade, but as long as Xnova's disciplined enough to just bait, it should be completely fine. Now, the one thing with the Pugna is he doesn't have the best range. I mean, you can still kind of play tag. With his move speed, the brown boots, you should be able to apply a little bit more laning presence there for Xnova.
Oh, he's gonna have a great old time. Like 375 movement speed with brown boots. He's feeling good, John. He's feeling good right now. We'll see how he does. Yes.
Are they running down mid? Like old 11 switch houses here? No, okay,
it's a block.
Okay.
Why would they run down mid, John?
I know, like they've got boars, they've got wolves. They just want to melt the tier 1 fast. And I've seen Mackier stuff before, so it's definitely a possibility. In fact, four people down mid with this lineup is kind of plausible. With Netherblatt at a very fast tier 1.
I gotta say that they really did prioritize that block, because Chalice has missed out on the first creep wave now. Which isn't the biggest deal, but it's still a fair bit of gold and XP you're not getting as this Lycan, which in turn is also going to slow jungle timing.
Yeah,
Chalice just doesn't seem too concerned by it.
I think this allows LGD to find their ideal lanes as well, so there might have been a possibility that Keen would do a lane swap or run something fishy there. Instead, they do get the Lycan against Tide, which still isn't the best for Lycan, but you can still kind of just juggle your creeps around to get safe last hits.
Over. It's a lot of damage, but one of gets on top of him. That battery is stopped. Even at speed, it's just not good enough. We'll have a look at the other lanes quickly while we have a chance. Of course, Blood is there on the mid better, and it's up against Somnus, that mid Queen of Pain. And, well, that lane it seems to be fairly static for now, but I'm sure there'll be some fireworks there in just a moment. In top lane, we have F1 the Earthshaker. There with old 11, they'll be up against Fantasy and Erica on the Ember Oracle. Anything, that's probably gonna be a rather even kind of trading lane. Like, I can't imagine them really killing this base monster too quick. And old level, once he gets a couple levels up, like, likelihood is they're not gonna be able to contest him too long once he has those balls up.
Yeah, it's just a matter of getting that initial EXP. In this downtime, though, while the Shaker is kind of limited in his harassment, while FY doesn't quite have anything else, still level 1, you are seeing Erica kind of pull away. The presence of the Oracle is a lot stronger in these early levels simply because of the range advantage and the high nuke damage potential. So Old 11 kind of forced to eat through a lot of his regen, does have a magic wand ready, so he's going to have some burst steal, which does make the prospect of actually diving that hero a lot tougher.
Nice pump from FY. Erica should take a little bit of harassment. Looks like Old 11 just not feeling as confident with, real regen on him, but Corey is on the way. I imagine there'll be some coming. Back down that bot lane. Jianfu's having a great old time with the Tidehunter for now. 14-3. Just really focused, it seems, on ensuring this Lycan has the slowest time possible. And in all fairness, I think that's the way to play is, like, just make sure Chalice can't get to that point where he has the helm of the Dominant Echo booked up and can just rush down the lane and take 2 towers for nothing.
And one of the beautiful things about King Gaming's lineup is that even when he does dip into the jungle, you've got the clock, and that's going to be enough to scout out whether or not he's camping certain areas in the jungle. And you can certainly punish that kind of passive play here with King Gaming's draft.
Yeah. Be a lot of pressure on this off-lane to ensure that Chalice does not have a good day. Of course, Xnova is going to be correct. So ensure he does. And speaking of, he now has the Crep and Nether Blast, as well as the Nether Ward. Standard and 1-1-1 build on the top 5 Pugna. Why is chasing him down a little bit, but again, the movement speed is just way too high in a Pugna with brown boots. So he'll just have to leave him be. And I don't mean to be a negative Nancy, John, but I don't know if they're slowing him down enough yet. Like, Chalice is still doing perfectly fine.
Yeah, it's still decent farm for like number 2 in last hits is a pretty good spot to be in. I mean, you're getting more farm on Xiao Fu, but farm on a Pai doesn't scale in the same way as it does as farm on a Lycan. And you look at Chalice already queuing up all those necro recipes, so he's going to have that up and running really early on. Once the first book is up, we've seen a lot of Lycans play a lot more aggressive once that item's up.
Yeah, they're going for the same thing with the Beastmaster as well, and we used to call that the library strat. You just get a bunch of books going in your team, and well, you know, back in the Dota 1 days, you could literally get all 5 players to get necro books in your team, and there's nothing they could do with them. You would just spawn them and rush them down a tower, and there was nothing they could do to slow them down. It was glorious, let me tell you.
Oh yeah, yeah, those were the days. I remember, a bit off topic, but that was actually the topic of one of Nigma's videos way back when. One of those shittier videos? Shittier digests, yeah. They actually had that. It is effective if it works, and I don't think they need 5 here, just 2 should be enough.
Tottenham is starting to take a lot of damage in that mid lane on the Queen of Pain. Being very, very annoying. But Blood has taken quite a bit of harassment himself. In fact, they've got 3 heroes in mid right now on the side of Keen Gaming, really wanting to apply that pressure onto Somnus, but he's being fairly aggressive with his positioning right now. They could definitely try and capitalize. The real question is, though, like, if you do try to make a play on Somnus, how do you stop him from blinking away? We'll hold that thought for a second, because Eric is going to be in trouble top lane, and this could be the first blood, and FY will be able to get it on the Earthshaker, and he's going to be feeling very, very good about that.
Yeah, it's rather unfortunate. Fancy was wasting all that time mid. That opens up this aggressive movement, and Fancy dies too.
FY, double kill before he goes down to YDS. You know, that's one of the greatest feelings before play, John, is finding first blood and even a double kill at the start of the game. Especially as an Earthshaker who wants to rush a blink. Like, FY is just going to have such a good time now, knowing he got all that bonus gold and already has Tranquils up.
Yeah, it's going to allow him to maintain that presence. He's ridden through the roughest spot of the Shaker's lane phase. With level 3, you can just do so much more. You can even get some rotations on the map if you wanted to, although this movement is spotted from some pretty good wards from Keen. So you're probably not going to find too much success in trapping Blood, and Blood's just going to dip back and maybe start to just play a little bit safer with FY around.
They really have prioritized just ensuring the river is warded on the side of Keen. Just making sure they can't make rotations on the Venom. As I say that, Erica is currently getting rotated on by Somnus, but he turn around onto YDS, but no, blinks straight to the west side, where Erica, still not level 6, really has no way out of this situation. Somnus has Sonic Wave just in case. He's thinking about throwing it, but Erica is looking nicely. It won't be nice enough. Somnus does get a very easy kill on the Ember.
Yeah, it's not going too great in the top lane for Keen. I think that's one thing they've kind of shafted. Eric is not having that good lane. He's finding last hits, but he's died twice, and the Ember Spirit can't quite jungle the same way LGD's Tears can. In fact, Chalice is going straight in Blood.
Blood can't do anything about it. He's just got to stand there and take it like a man. And securing the kill, in quotations. There will be a denied from Chalice. Very, very nice, denying that gold off from the side of Keen Gaming. Somnus, like any other good mid player, John, just throwing out his ultimate ability, ensuring somebody dies when they were guaranteed to die. And we'll be able to blink away as well.
Yeah, I mean, they get the kill, they get the deny. Not bad for first shapeshift from Chalice. Not going to be able to find too many objectives off of that, so you do have a bit of tower advantage there for Keen, but they are still kind of lagging behind. 1k deficit, 1k lead for PSG.LGD, and that's going to be enough for them to feel a little bit more confident. The only real issue they have on LGD's side is perhaps the fact that Blood is really just being super annoying. He went for the Plague Ward build in the end. It's maxed out, and it's harder to deal with those max level Plague Wards when you're still kind of early in the game.
But look at his net worth. He's at 2.2k on the Venomancer. He's 700 gold behind Somnus right now. That's your mid Veno. I can appreciate how annoying those wards are going to be, but he's got no items. He's got no farm.
Yeah, it's down to the fact really that he's had a lot of pressure down mid, and he's only had one camp. He hasn't dipped too far in the jungle, so he's been focused on that one camp. Surprisingly enough, that LGD hasn't really warded it, but considering the pace of this farm, it's almost a non-factor for Venno.
Nova went for kicking at Blanc, but he may pay for it with his life now. He will drop the Nether Ward, does get a Decrepify off, and now starts life stealing, but Fantasy will just use those Purifying Flames and shut him down immediately. King Gaming even rotating YDS in now, just they spot out Chalice, but what are you going to do about the man? He's already got his Necro 2 book on the way, on the courier right now, and it's about 1.2, 1.3k gold away from the Necro 3. Speaking of books, by the way, Old 11's got his Necro 1 up now on the Beast Path.
Yeah, you should be seeing the big push coming in soon. I think right now LGD just wants to get a little bit more EXP up on their supports. That's really one factor they haven't managed to maximize quite yet.
YDS, Sonic Wave won't connect on the clock. Ooh. They do secure Fantasy on the Oracle with a nice fish from FY. And now YDS, he can get a bounty rune for the team. That's the best he can really do though. And this is when it begins, John. This is when the hell begins for King.
Yep, Necro 2 summons are out, and with a Pugna with a Lycan should be straightforward to push, although
the jump on FY. This could be dangerous for Erika. He does have remnants. Meanwhile, Jean-Fu goes down solo to Old 11. Up at the top lane, and Chalice, well, he's falling low, but the life drain is going to be there from X-Nova. Now the Poison Nova to fly out from Blood. Chalice is completely surrounded, but Fantasy's dying on the Oracle just from those creeps. They will eventually find the Lycan FY. He jumped back in. I'm not sure about that one, FY. He does die, and that was actually a very successful team fight from the side of Keen Gaming. You would have probably preferred not to have your Tidehunter die top lane. Beggars can't be choosers, John. You gotta take what you get.
Yeah, they get a nice set of kills for themselves. They do lose their tier 1 up top in that time span, so Old 11 does find that objective as well. That kind of evens it out for LGD at the very least, and Keen can't quite push as fast. So they found those kills, but they can't pressure this tier 1 as much as you'd expect, and LGD just ports back in. Again, Lycan plus Pugna, they're gonna work their way to that tier 1 and try to melt it as fast as possible.
I mean, Socrates was basically doing that while that fight was going on. Like, he didn't even want to join. He took a lot of pressure off that mid tower, just less than half HP now. Yeah, they just returned back down to the bot tier 1 tower, as if the fight never happened.
There's really not too much Keen can do about that. They're investing so many resources in staying in this bot lane. Like, they're getting a smoke rotation in. Fortunately, not spotted by the ward. They get a really deep ward in as well. If they do want to play aggressively, this ward is going to allow them to do that. Oh, missed hook shot from YDS.
Who is he going for?
He's trying to go for X-Nova. Kind of missed out. That was under a ward, so rather unfortunate.
King Gaming now just sitting up in mid. They have lost their own T1 mid tower. Meanwhile, do see Blood on the Venno, just trying to force him bot lane, just not really giving an opening over to Chalice, who really wants to snipe that T1 bot. It's the last T1 tower standing for King Gaming, but they are protecting their lives.
Yeah, I mean, they really don't want to lose that space. Once you lose all your tier 1s, it's going to be harder to find that farm in the jungle, and it's already kind of a challenge when you have to factor in the vision that Old 11's giving with the Hawks. So just losing those TP points as well makes it so much harder to protect your cores if they're farming out pretty far off.
This is the really unfun part about playing drafts like ODDs. You have to invest so much of the game just defending, even during these stages. Like, you don't want to sit here as a team at bot lane, but you kind of have to. The problem with it is it opens up every other lane. We're Old 11. He's for Raw right now, and he's looking at Erika, who's trying to just wait it out. But Bishop comes in from FY, and now they have plenty of damage. In fact, it looks like YDS has also been caught out on the clockwork. Yeah, now TP, it's going to be no good. It's just food. FY just commits the echo on Blood. You have a wolf running around right now. Looks like they don't want to fight with Zhao Fu there. but to find Fantasy on the Oracle, Chalice away out to Disarm, and eventually just take it down. But Fisher doesn't connect. Actually allows Fantasy to get the false promise off. That'll be it. It's still a set of trades for LGD.
Yeah, they get nice big kills. They do not bait out Ravage. I think that's one factor LGD does not want to face up against. A big Ravage from Chafu can really cause issues, and they're just playing it safe when you see the Tidehunter. So one factor for Keen there is perhaps consider like a fast blink in Chafu to allow that team fight to break out if they want to, but only 11.
Yeah, I mean, he just got his Necro 3 book as well. I was just about to comment on how great the timing was. But 14 minutes in, and both your cores have Necro 3 books up. That is just some really, really nice timing from LGD. It's,
yeah. They've gotten all the form they wanted. They haven't really been contested. Like, the Lycan may have had a bit more pressure in his lane, but that entire time, only 11 had free time top. He was just 1v1 against Shadow Fu for a while. He got those solo kills. He got the tier 1 by himself. Keen Gaming hasn't quite had a response. Like, they have that tier 1 bot, but the map is definitely in LGD's control now.
Wait, FY has a blink as well? Ooh. Okay. So FY's got blink up as well to make matters worse. Funnily enough, Somnus is the one that doesn't have any real big items. He's still trying to finish off the Orchid. Somnus lagging behind a little bit, so get it. Xiaofu, it's lane to be in trouble. He has no mana. He can Soul Ring for the Ravage mana if he really wants. Looks like he is to allow Fantasy to die here. They commit the Roar now. Maybe Xiaofu turns it. Hook shot is good. Quite nice from Ideas getting two in the cogs with the Ravage. They can really win this team fight. They get one by one. The Sonic Wave, Somnus jumps back in, clears out two. They'll get a third on Blood. It's going to be a full team wipe at LGD. Eric is out of mana again.
Yeah.
Oh, what a Sonic Wave.
Yeah, it's like a perfect positioning coming out from LGD, even when they were clumped up by the cops, and it was a very big initiation from our clockwork. Not enough. They expend all the remnants on Erica as well, so it was an all-in move. He had no way of backing off. They just lacked the damage. That was the ideal team fight for Keen. They blew all their big ults, and they still couldn't find all the kills they wanted. They only really get X-Nova, and he's a POS 5. No one cares about the Pugna. LGD does not care if X-Nova dies. He's not worth much.
Speaking of X-Nova, the double
okay. Yeah.
Love it. So this is... People are going to look at that and wonder why. For anyone that hasn't... Do you want to explain, John, or should I?
The regen is just really good. It's like, it's insane regen.
John. Yeah,
I mean, it's
regen stats.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
like, the move speed doesn't matter.
No. The regen stacks, for anyone that doesn't know, Tranquil Boots regen stacks, so...
Look at that.
His Boss 5 Pugna wants to heal his allies like this, and having multiple Tranquils allows him to just regen up all the HP he lost. In fact, now they are going to go after Blood again. Somnus has a haste active. He will be fine. YDS gonna hook him now, but he doesn't actually want to commit the cogs because something's still there. Decrepify. That's actually gonna make matters worse. Although no, it's not FY. He jumps in with the Echo. It was only a one-man Echo, but he just throws it in. He doesn't care.
Yeah, just gets the blow up, and man, this X-Nova is just it's so much value. He just drains for mana at this point because his HP regen's so good. 31.6. Just with those two Tranquils. So he's just a walking gas station for LGD.
That's another thing as well, right? Like, with the life drain, if they're full in HP, you keep the mana.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous. That is the most ridiculously broken thing I've ever heard.
He was using that in Somnus a lot to set up for that last fight. So they can basically keep fighting forever. Like, as long as Nova has his regen back up, they can just keep going. There's nothing stopping them.
Softness. Blood. Oh, nice hook shot from YDS. Does clogs up. Janafu does have Ravage. Omnis is already out of there. Meanwhile, they can't kill it at Nova. Maybe now they do, but no. Sonic Wave. Somnus again just on point. YDS will die at the Nether Ward. And Chalice, meanwhile, is just ripping people apart in the backline. Derricka, he'll also die. The only man left is Xiaofu. He's on for a spin. Right into old 11, in fact.
Not sure about that one. Like, he's not in a position to ravage. Yeah, nah. You don't even bother playing tag. He's just melt through creeps, wipe him the gold, just get the wards out.
Is under attack.
I mean, this is turning into some like schoolyard bullying from LGD. Really. Like, it's not even. They're 12k ahead of 19 minutes. The game's not even close.
Erica?
The probability isn't too high. Erica, that is not the right side to be on, sir. Please leave.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Xiaofu. X-Note's gonna say hello. Does use the hood, but he's out of mana again. They actually outcase him. They're literally sending the units in when he has no mana. Because they know he can't do anything. Now he does soul ringing at the anchor smash off, but the units weren't there anyway.
Yeah, they're just kind of playing tag right now. They scan out the movement of Keen Gaming as well, so they know exactly where the rest of Keen's at. Should allow them to jump onto Xiaofu if they wanted to. They played it safe. So LGD now, like at this point in the game, they've got complete control of the map. You see old 11, he's basically got his pipe up. He just needs a recipe about 200 gold away. That's gonna stop the damage that they're experiencing from blood. Like the Venomancer becomes a non-issue with that pipe up, and a lot of the initial damage from Keen is reliant on the Venom at this point. He's really strong 20 minutes in. It's just not enough anymore.
Oh, they're gonna go on the road, Roshan. Keen Gaming. They aren't gonna initiate too far. They just want to make sure the Roshan's not being taken.
Oh god.
Just feeling the need to refill his allies' mana. Fair enough.
Yeah, it's no one's ever gonna run out of mana with LGD. What X-Nova just doing this? I mean, they've really shafted him. He's level 9, but who cares? He's doing his job. He's giving that drain. He's giving the suck, the good suck, and everyone in LGD benefits. Keen Gaming, this is giving them some time to farm up. It's just not very impressive farm. Blood is still at 6.7k, Erica's at 7.4. You compare that to all the cores in LGD side, they're at 9.8k plus. So really even farm distribution for LGD, and Keen, even with his time, just cannot clear out enough of the map to play catch up.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom
Like,
tower is under attack.
Keen Gaming at this point, if they want to kind of play catch up, they've got to get a big fight going. Maybe try to look to pick off X-Nova first. That's probably your best bet. And if you can, pick off FY as well. The easiest target is to go for. You do have Ravage. The issue is Xiaofu has no way of actually jumping in the center. He's working towards a Solar Crest next, so you're not going to be seeing that Blink initiation from Keen. And that just means they can't dictate these fights. They can't jump the backline like they need to. They could try with Erica, but then you'd isolate the Ember Spirit, who has no defensive items.
I think they're kind of doing the best they can do right now, Kane, right? Like, just split push the map. Let's get some gold.
Yeah, it's just not particularly fast. That's a tier 1 being taken for a tier 2 being shoved in. And everyone's down here for LGD.
I don't know if they have another option here, Joe. I really think they're just stuck. But we talked about in the draft phase, they've just been out-drafted. It goes back to it, right? You can't leave Beastmaster and Lycan to be picked up on the same side.
No.
It generally doesn't work in your favor. Now they're on the tier 3s, battery protection will at least kick in and save the day for Keen. So FGD are going to happily back out. Roshan's still up, so they could definitely try to force that again, but you don't want to give any kind of lead away to the side of Keen Gaming.
And the issue for LGD is that if they do force a fight there, Keen does excel in tight areas. They've got the Venom, they've got the Tide. that would be a very big moment for Keen to fortify out. They've got some decent vision watching near the pit as well, so it's not going to be a simple take for LGD if they did want to go for that. But if you look at how much LGD has had on the map, 14k advantage, they're really not in a rush anymore. They've already got the pipe, well, be ready to go for old 11 as soon as he unlocks his Hood of Defiance. But once that's up, when you go into a team fight, Erica's damage is limited.
Oh. Yeah, there's an Echo Slam. It was massive by FY. There's a lot of creeps around Erica. That's fine, thank you. Challenge. Pick the onto the mid lane it is.
Yeah, just cutting through the creep wave, allow their own creeps to go in just a bit faster, and Ember Spirit Keen Gaming is kind of hard pressed to get the damage out. Like, Erica's their best bet in reaching that backline in any case of a defense or even wave clear. Like the Ember's pretty darn good at that, and without Erica around her, with Erica with so little farm, like the effectiveness of his movement and the leeway he has to get that movement out is low. He opted for the Blade Mail, doesn't have anything like the Ewelts to at least purge off some of those control that LGD has, especially just that clumsy net. Like, that clumsy net gives him so much value in keeping that hero down.
LGD, I wonder what they're really waiting for here. You've got the BKB orked on Solomon. He's sitting at a 10-second charge. Maybe you just wait for the Echo to be back up. Forms up in about 15 seconds. And yeah, they're just kind of hanging around that mid lane, just taking it easy, waiting for the target. But not really going to Zhao Fu. Maybe they do. Comes out. Shadow Strike is there from Somnus, but Zhao Fu just kind of turns around and dares them to keep going. You can get to the point where Zhao Fu becomes way too hard to deal with if they give him enough time.
Oh?
He's still on 11 right now. That Solar Crest, he's doing a lot of damage. Old 11, just trying to get out of there. Now it's Nova. Shot himself with the life drain. Well, maybe it was a bit of a bait. Zhao Fu doesn't care. He keeps going forward. He really wants his kill on old 11, but what are you going to do about X Nova? He's just killing him up the whole time, and now Somnus will turn around once again with a Shadow Strike. Meanwhile, Palace is ripping apart the rest of your team in the back lines. So there's 4 from Zhao Fu, and Palace is on the other 4. It's going on blood right now. Another Fisher on Zhao Fu. He will still walk away from all that. But
Yeah, a really tempered fight coming out from LGD. They're respecting the turnaround potential of that Ravage, so they don't want to clump in and go into Xiao Fu, and Xiao Fu's playing super cautiously. He wants them to bite the bait, but neither side's really budging, so it's kind of safe plays from both sides. And they're just kind of prodding at each other. Of course, Keen does lose out, although FY.
It just jumps in for a casual enchant totem hit. Somnus has a Shadow Blade on the way, which is very intriguing to say the least. Haven't seen that one on Queen in a while. Zhao Fu finding himself no matter again, and then White gets some Fisher off. He's going to be on Whitey, yes, but again, they don't really make the jump yet. Meanwhile, Somnus, he is trying to go on to Erica, but Erica will be set. He doesn't have right behind him. You really want that Oracle Fantasy. He couldn't get the false promise off. And with that, they definitely want to fight now. Mighty S is going to be the immediate. There'll be a buyback from Fantasy, though he's really going to get back in there quick if his team really wants to fight this. They're still waiting out this Ravage from Zhao Fu. He is back now. Old 11 is kind of sitting duck. He's been left alone. And LGD will actually not come back in to help Somnus. He's done with that fight. He still has Sonic Wave, but they just do not feel particularly safe.
Yeah, that's really down to the fact that Old 11 was kind of chasing off by himself. They managed to take a really big pick off there for Keen. Without that Beastmaster, you're missing out on a lot of damage from the Necrobucks, from the Inner Beast Aura, from the Boars, and of course the control you can get from the Roar, even if it was on cooldown. So they don't have that option, but LGD just goes into tier 3. They know they can do that. They do some chip damage. They force out the Fortify. So you're not going to have that in the next push. That should allow LGD to get a harder push down as long as they do it before 5 minutes are up.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll have that potential to do so, but they have it right now if they really want. They've just been waiting on the Ravage, I believe. Like, Zhao Fu with that Ravage has been holding on to the perfect moment. And it seems the LGD are paying just a lot of respect to the fact that that could be the game-changing ability in this game. They will continue to slowly farm up. Chalice, he does have the AC up now as well on the like. Yeah, they're just not willing to make the jump on Zhao Fu until they see that Ravage is expended.
It could possibly be waiting for Somnus to finish up his Silver Edge as well. I believe he's just waiting out the next 1,000 gold for the Ultimate Orb. And then you're going to have that break. It's going to make the Tide Hunter a bit easier to deal with, and that's potentially all you need. Just burst down the Tide. You can easily take the following team fight. And that's probably what LGD wants, although they jump into Roche. This should be seen by Keen, and Zhao Fu is ready with Ravage.
That they are. Ravage is there. Aegis has already been taken by Chalice, so this doesn't look great now as King Gaming. They don't have that huge ulti they need. YDS is going to get chased down by Somnus with a double damage ruin and BKB active. Now he feels very comfortable to make the jump onto Zhao Fu. It's just perfect with FY as well, but he's just a sitting duck. Even if you don't have that Silver Edge, who cares? He has nowhere to walk to. In fact, it's not even over. Blood's being chased up right now by the Lycan. Looks like he will be able to get out. But there should be no way that King Gaming are able to protect this tier 2 mid tower.
Not without the Tide Hunter round, and without the threat of Ravage, there's really nothing from King to stop this.
Straw straight onto Blood. That is the mid Venom going down. Sonic Wave was committed, and now Erica also going to try and go in here onto X-Nova. Get rid of this support partner, but they can't kill him. They just can't do the work. Somna's still fighting more in the back. His fantasy does go down again. They continue jumping his FY. He still had the echo the whole time. He finds 2 more for the side of LGD. Zhao Fu is swimming. That's all he really can do. Erica. Remnants forward. Trying to get out. Chalice continuing the chase. Now Somnus and Old 11 blink in. And GG call hasn't been made, John, but I have a feeling it's coming, and there it is. Zhao Fu calls that they have seen enough. And you know, we could say that LGD outplayed King Gaming, but you could almost definitely just agree that it was just a general outdraft.
Yeah.
There's not really much else to it.
Keen tried to cover their bases for the last pick Tide, and
Trying to take advantage of it somehow.
They're waiting there on the high ground. They'll immediately burst through the Aphotic Shield. Notail is trying to run. The Smasher's after him. Notail's got the backup of Anna. Mind Control's going to head in. Liquid, they're diving on forward. GH will be kept safe by the Heavenly Grace. Kuro heads over a little tip by this time. Will be surrounded. The 4 of them take down Kuro. Put an end to his reign across the map. As OG responding in their numbers now in that middle lane. They won't let Liquid get away with this any longer.
They still, OG has a very strong way to fight, even in the early game. Even if they do have a greedy IO pick, it's what it provides you, especially when you have a Gyro. Gyro is all about that early fights, same thing with Tiny. And even Timbersaw, but Sab right now, we know he doesn't really want to show up except for the tower defenses. And he's also going to be matching that Chen, who's going to be an early mech. It's actually going to be a mech Timber Saw since they have IO. So this amount of sustain that could come out from OG pretty soon is going to be pretty hard for Liquid to deal with this. Seb, he actually jumps forward for GH.
He goes deep. Wear's going to turn with a focus fire. Seb, of course, has got the max reactive armor. Thanks to that, Shackle won't latch. Seb, continue to back off. Chains out, back over the river. He's fine. Liquid will try and turn their attention towards Thompson, but with No-Tail by his side, they cannot dive up to the high ground. Seb holding them back. 5
Liquid heroes in the mid lane. Trying to brawl again at the same time as last game. It's 13 minutes in, and there's 8 heroes positioned around this area. They want to go for No-Tail, but he's got ulti.
Miracle's going to continue to chase this under the Titu, and they will get it. Seb is trying to turn. The missile is out on Akura. Does Seb have the burst? Not quite. Magnetizes out, and Seb has to retreat. Shackle does latch. Liquid. They've got the lockdown. They've got the roll for the kickback. They'll crush him. Liquid. They're diving again.
They want top.
They got a bit of a flavor of how OG was playing in these last 2 games, and they're saying we could do it too. Thompson pops the cooldown. They won't go too crazy. They'll let him live. They don't want to dive up towards the tier 3. They know TPs are coming in.
They have to make sure they're hitting the tower because the side lanes are being split pushed. Ana as well as Jerax are actually pressuring these other 2 towers. And they're not even going to get this one here. It's down into deny range. OG might be able to deny that mid tower if they choose to do so. Liquid with an overzealous dive there, not losing anybody, but the side lanes giving a lot to that Tiny as well as that IO. And we know the timing, it's all about just waiting for IO to get not only Aghanims, but get that level 15 talent. That's what OG wants.
He's diving in. Onto Kuro with the flak as well. Hand of God will not keep Chen alive today.
GH will not get TP'd out. Jerax actually TP's in and gets the toss up at the exact timing.
OG's actually not done, as they are still hunting for action. Miracle the focus. Thompson's got a DD. A power shot does come out. Lands on Thompson.
A bit too aggressive there, but Thompson will throw down the call down just to clear the
the Shackle actually reaches across the trees, but No-Tail. He's there with a shield. Thompson goes with the TP out. The focus fired down the damage. It's not enough. Thompson save. A spray on the way out. Thompson will escape. Liquid, that's 9-6 in their favor, but the net worth difference, it's pretty much even. As you say, sure, Liquid, they are bringing the aggression, finding the kills, but space is being given to those important members of OG.
Yeah, especially Ana. Halfway to that Aghanims already. Level 11 finished up. He's got the Spirits applied slow, so he can fight as soon as he has that Aghanims, of course, with the talent, but the big one is that 15, that extra Spirit hero damage that does come out. But yeah, look at this immediately. Seb now positioned up top. He wants to push the top tower as soon as Liquid is positioned in mid. And Jerax already looking to set up down toward the bottom lane. Liquid have to just get these towers. Have to get some type of map advantage here.
Once Ana has the Aghanims, things are going to start getting very tricky for Liquid when they turn up like this.
Yeah.
The Spirits will be out.
Yeah, they have Bristle. That's a good thing, right? Bristle can be good versus the IO. If you can get on top of him, the goo, you don't have the highest armor traditionally on the IO, but he's versus an actual counter. Timber Saw, very good versus Bristle back at all stages.
Are fortified.
It's just that farm game, OG.
Got mind control. Looking towards Seb up top, but it's hard really for these heroes without the shackle shot or GH getting a beautiful angle. It's very hard for them to kill Seb.
It's very hard for them to kill pretty much anybody if they don't have Weehawk. If they can catch some of the supports and running around by themselves, they can maybe pick them off, but they really need Weehawk for the damage. The rest of them do not really provide that at this point of the game versus what they're against. Magnetize can be good, but there's a lot of ways that they can deal with it. Not only with the tankiness of how they are, but also there's an Abaddon who can just remove it a lot of the times.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And Seb, he could just get away with this, pushing this wave into the tier 2 every single time, knowing that sure, if Liquid do come for him, it's going to be so many of their resources that it's probably going to be worth it for OG to have Seb positioned that aggressively and for him to draw that much attention towards him. Thompson's getting space, Ana's getting space.
Look at that build by Thompson. Diffusal Gyrocopter.
Wait, what?
Diffusal? Gyrocopter, I just said it.
Treads Diffusal Gyrocopter. Fancy that, Thompson.
So
doing something I don't think I've ever seen this.
Kind of. I mean, it's interesting because it's going to provide a lot of mana burn, which is going to be annoying for Liquid.
Okay.
It gives you a lot of agility, and it gives you ways to run around and chase heroes down, I guess.
It's Liquid.
different.
They've got the kill squad getting mobile again.
They can try to...
10 seconds remaining. Turn to ban. PSG.LGD's turn to ban. Keen Gaming's turn to ban. PSG.LGD's turn to ban. Keen Gaming's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. PSG.LGD's turn.
Welcome back. We are here for the second draft of the second game of this best of 3 series between PSG.LGD and Keen Gaming. It is MLP Dota and John X Fire. John, we're back for game 2. Game 1, I think we can both agree, was a pretty big stomp, to say the least. Do you think that LGD is going to get the same draft? Like, they haven't banned Beastmaster Lycan, unless Keen is taking it.
PSG.
I mean, yeah, at least Keen's opener can kind of de-shove a bit better. Like the Pangolier certainly does have stronger creep wave clearing potential as a hero, so they've got that going for themselves. But LGD are still in the spot where they can still build up towards that strong push lineup. You mentioned no Beastmaster ban, no Lycan ban, no Pugna ban out as well. So those are all viable options for LGD, but they do opt to draft a little bit differently. They go for the Bane Ember Spirit. So you've got the Bane to hold down the Pangolier. You've got ways of dealing with the hero before the Rolling Thunder comes out, or just keeping him still. And the Ember Spirit, of course, is just a really fast hero to come online. We did see Keen Gaming play it last game. It didn't quite have the best time, so I think it's really just down to where they were forced to run the Ember Spirit. Hopefully enough LG can get the lane they want, and if you can get started with the Ember Spirit, it can snowball quite hard. So Keen Gaming might have to look into picking a hero that can keep that Ember Spirit in place. They could go for the Beastmaster themselves if they wanted to. It's a really good response to the Ember, and it does give Keen some push potential, so they could just pick up the Beastmaster here. It's really good value against that Ember.
Keen, they respond with an Enigma.
Honestly, not my favorite pick here, mainly because you're picking into a Bane, right? Like the Bane can just cancel off the Black Hole from far away. The Ember Spirit can eat your Eidolons. There's already decent response from LGD up against what the Enigma brings to the table.
There's too much. Like, you've got 3 more picks to go for LGD. I respect the fact that Keen Gaming at least does ban at the Rubik, so they're not going to give F-Flat that much value. It's just, when you have a BKB cancel, when you have a spell that goes through BKB like Bane's Fiend's Grip, it's the thing with Enigma though, it's never about the Black Hole anymore. It's about just destroying lanes with Eidolons. That's the whole point, and making a big push of your own with a Helm of Dom. But every time we've seen it, the hero just seems so lackluster, because apart from that, you never throw out the Black Hole because it always gets cancelled anyway.
You really miss a big factor without that Black Hole. Even the push potential here for Keen is reeled back because of that Ember Spirit. Like the Bane doesn't do anything, but the Ember Spirit clears out those Eidolons nicely. You've got the Centaur now to run in. Initiation for LGD, which doesn't really do much against Enigma. It can kind of deal with the Eidolon, but it gives a stable way of running away when they see the Pangolier come in. Gives them a really strong way of getting into the fights as well. I like that stable pick from LGD. I think you've got some pretty great lane that can come out. And Keen, I appreciate that they're doing something different. Like, you don't see the Enigmas too often. The success, as you've mentioned, has been less than stellar for the most part. Like, something just feels off about the laning presence of the Enigma. I think it's down to whatever you partner it up with. So you have to get a pause 4 or pause 3 that's not as greedy, right? Like, you need to be able to split that space between either a support Enigma or core Enigma. It just needs a lot more prioritization in whatever you decide to do with it.
I think it must be a pause 3 though. Like, you could run a pause 4 Enigma and just deny creeps from the lane and just go to the jungle if that's how you really want to play it. But if you're gonna run an offlane Pango, it's not the greatest solo offlane. It's actually pretty rough for the hero. So
yeah, it's not a good time, and that's really the issue with the Enigma. Now, with the Disruptor, you do shoot up in teamfight potential here. If you can drop the Black Hole with the Static Storm and Kinetic Field, it's super strong. It's just, again, Enigma, the value of that Black Hole is brought into question, mainly because you can't get off
the Siren.
Yeah, LGD?
No, Keen.
Keen, they could, and that's really the safest way for them to get the setup they want. It's just, that would be super greedy. That would tie them into 3 cooldowns, the Black Hole, the Static Storm Song, and if you want to count it as well, the Rolling Thunder, to really start applying their own pressure. I would much prefer if Keen went for something a bit more push focused. It's just that LGD with their Luna pickup does kind of clear out the waves quite fast. They do go for the Spectre. So you've got some global presence, you've got scalability. They're going to have to slow the game down for that Spec though. Like, you're going to have to see that Spectre eat a lot of space on the map. You've already got the Enigma who's going to be kind of eating some space up as well. Their last pickup has to be somewhat selfless to allow that Spectre to really shine.
Where do you think LGD's planning to put this Ember? It's not, surely it's not a pause 4 Ember. I can't remember seeing FY ever play support Ember Spirit. Then I asked myself as well, is it going to be a pause 4 Luna? It's one of those other weird supports right now that have come out that just kind of work and kind of don't sometimes. It's very hard to know. I'm just curious now, because are we waiting for a Somnus hero? Are we waiting for... What are we waiting for? Like, well, they've got their offlane in the Centaur Warrunner.
I reckon if they are going to run one of these as a support, it should be the Luna. We haven't seen a core Luna in a very long time. Especially since her aura got reworked. So way back when that aura was changed up, that's when you saw Luna pop in as a support. There is still room for that to really shine here. We have seen like a couple of teams, probably not from DPL-CDA, but we have seen teams run the support Luna, although it doesn't sound like it fits into how FY plays for the most part. It definitely is a bit more passive than you'd expect. But if you were going to go for that, I would generally prefer the Luna, because Ember really shoots up with a lot of farm. You would want that early prioritization on the Ember Spirit, and yeah, it just scales a bit nicer. Luna, yeah, I mean, it's a solid core. It's just there are good reasons why you don't see it anymore.
I like the pick from Keen at least. Like, it looks pretty nice going into this. You know, you mentioned it before. Their draft does look a bit greedy. They need someone that can just be online and ready to go whenever they need that. And Kunkka is one of those heroes that doesn't really require too much farm. LGD, however, will take Monkey King, and I could say the exact same thing about their draft, John, with the finishing off of the Monkey King now. So Somnus is going to be on that mid Monkey up against the mid Kunkka. Very hard matchup for the Kunkka to win. You've got FY on the Luna, so it is a position for Luna coming up. And overall, John, if they get their item timings, Chalice is able to get a nice Spirit Vessel timing, which I'm sure he will, and Somnus just does what Somnus does on Monkey King. I don't see how you ever get Erica online.
It's a really tall order for Blood to kind of buy that space for the Spectre. You're gonna have to play around your team fights, which is potent. Like, once you have 6 on Fantasy, once you have 6 on Shafu and YDS, you really have to force something out. That's where King Gaming's lineup shines. They could try to go for a push with the Enigma as well, so you can transition from a team fight into a push, but they have to be active. They have to play around the timers. Otherwise, you know, when you kind of blow it, you are massively vulnerable. LGD does not rely on those big team fight spells. They just run at you with this kind of lineup. They do not require such massive cooldowns to go off. You just jump, maybe expand the Fiend's grip from Bane is going to be key. But beyond that, they have enough power just from the natural potency of these heroes that they're not constrained, setting the pace of this game.
No. We'll see how it all pans out. Gaming, they definitely want to try and force this to a game 3 if they can. We did see Keen yesterday pulling off their first series victory up against Newbie. So they definitely like to at least try and force to a game 3 and make this series a bit competitive. LGD, they're not looking to waste any time, John.
No.
They're looking to get the job done and go home. It's dinner time soon for them.
Oh yeah.
After this series, in case you weren't aware, we should be having Vici Gaming versus SAG. So that should be a pretty fun matchup after this one. That does mean another very interesting 1v1 that we'll be seeing, I'm sure. I don't know what, but hopefully it's not those techies again.
Oh god. It's like the Chinese scene votes for these 1v1 mids to answer questions we never want to ask. Like, who would win between Broodmother and Techies? It's like, no one wants to ask that, but someone has to find out. And we do get to find out from these matches.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I hope King Gaming is able to get this draft online so we can see a relative game. I've got to say, really just does not look amazing.
No.
With this draft. But it could. That's the point, right? It could be really, really flashy.
Yeah, it just rides on a lot of factors. But if they get the team fight, then it's great. It's certainly not like game 1, where you could outright say LGD outdrafted. In this case, Keen's not quite out of their element of this draft. It's just the conditions are so much harder. So it takes a lot more to get it working, but once it's working, it's just so many big plays that could come out here for them.
Chalice a bit early there. Tried to go for the sleight of fist bounty pickup. Doesn't quite get it. Nice attempt.
Yeah, it does constrain him to level 1 sleight of fist, but I suppose, yeah, it's not too rough. Yeah, it should allow him to last hit and kind of dance around the swashbuckle, which is the big part. You can kind of telegraph where that is and just dodge all the damage coming out from this Pangolier, and suddenly you take away the presence of that hero. If he's not applying harass onto you, then it doesn't really matter he's in lane.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely don't need Flame Guard level 1. There's no magic damage. It's literally all physical anyway, so... we'll see. It looks like X-Nova is already making sure YDS does not comfortable on Spangler. It is very, very hard, let me tell you, John, to try and lane up against the Bane. It's impossible to win the harass wars as a Pangolier.
Yeah, it's like you've got a range disadvantage. X-Nova can always pop the brain sap in case he actually does drop low, and it's just so much harder to maintain that presence. And YDS would rather chop down the Chalice, of course, if you can catch him in, but...
Top lane, Fantasy does set up first blood, and in fact, FY now getting glimpsed back with that level 2 of Fantasy. Just great timing coming up from Keen Gaming. FY is going to go for a TP play. He is not going to make it. And that's
Yes.
the better starts you could have asked for if you are Keen Gaming.
Yeah, they managed to really get this lane going. They are taking advantage of the moment where LGD's top lane is super weak, so support Luna doesn't do much beyond giving you that Lunar Blessing at level 1 to even 2. Level 3, maybe you can start applying a little bit more, but it's really easy to harass out, and that's exactly what Keen needed to get done, although Erica is copying a lot of damage now, just from Fantasy walking away for a moment.
Rough when you've got a support Luna. It reminds me of the support sniper, but it's not. The support sniper can kind of dish out harassment, because a Luna really can't. It's rough, right? Like the bot Sentinel is basically solo offlaning and kind of, but he's also having a support soak XP off him.
Yeah.
So is that a real disadvantage here? Because that fight can't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, with level 2 you have the Lucent Beam at least to stop the chase, and you can apply some decent damage. It's just that your attack range is so short. Even Fantasy can kind of orb walk a bit better.
I said he couldn't do anything, but F1 just has this perfect positioning every time. And he continues to run forward and F1 punches him every single time he shows up. He shouldn't be able to do anything, is what I should say.
Fantasy's dead.
There you have it, all 11 gets a bit of revenge. Meanwhile, bot lane. Fu also goes down on the Enigma. Chats will pick that one off the Ember, so LGD kind of returning the favor with to their own. It's just those multiple talents like you tend to see in the very early stages of the game, right? Like those level 2, level 3 time really make the difference in this high level kind of play.
Yeah, it's
Big long. Somnus. It's a fair fight. Does get the Jingle Mastery. Blood is just going to walk away. Gets a nice Tidebringer hit right to the face of Somnus.
That's a nice pick off for Keen. You didn't quite see Somnus actually get the Boundless Strike off, so he was kind of holding on to it for value. With a creep wave, it just doesn't come in, and he is punished.
They've left Eric alone up at that top lane. Like, he's running up now, but dropped up, but it's not great news for Erica.
No, it's definitely not, but you did get a lot of value from Fantasy rotating in. Like, Somnus is forced to walk back. He was disrupted, he was called back when he TP'd into mid, so he's missing out on a lot there.
Well, Erica does drop, but Old Levin should also go down here in Fantasy. So you lost that Spectre again. While I agree with you that, you know, it's really bad that Somnus died there, he's still sitting at the top of the last hits board. I don't really think LGD cares.
Nah.
Now, even with the kill onto the Centaur, F5's gotten some free XP for himself.
The key factor here is that you're shutting down the Spectre, so Erica's farm is really slow. 11 last hits, 3 denies. That's behind your Enigma, that's behind your Kunkka, that's behind every single core on LGD. This means you're not going to be seeing the greatest timings for Erica, which means every other core in Keen has to be able to compensate for that. So you are seeing Xiaofu, for example, work for a fast Necrobook, as you'd expect, but that does mean you're going to be focusing on the push aspect instead. So is the push going to be enough to buy Erica space? I really don't think that's going to be happening. It's just that LGD has so much more.
He's just getting dived. He's still sitting a level 4 on that Enigma, and he just can't do anything. Dallas literally just walked up to him with Flame Guard and ran around in circles. That's what it felt like.
There's just no presence of Enigma, right? Like you just spawn Eidolons, you throw Malphus out, and that's it. You, like with a support Pangolier around, you don't really have the best kill op, and that means you're not threatening this dual lane from LGD, which means Chalice just gets to farm and play aggressive at the same time.
He will enjoy that. Chalice with a nice double damage room bottled up now. To be even more aggressive, and Xiaofu is very far forward again. Chalice major for that level 6 mark, so you can guarantee the kill instead of wasting this double damage rune. But he's gonna find another kill event. I'm sure Xiaofu spotted up the double damage. No. Speaking of the Fantasy, he does manage to find F5 next over. will take out Fantasy before he reaches that boundary. How dare you steal my money, X-Nova says.
Yeah, I think that was really the entire point of that chase. FY trying to keep Fancy from grabbing that rune, and eventually X-Nova gets the signal and comes in. So that does leave Erica alone for a very long period, and you've reached a point where old 11 on the Centaur just cannot be shoved out of lane. He's got the regen from the Root of Health.
Jiafu's dead. Level 6 time and Remnant's out.
Yeah, the Enigma's presence is just going.
Oh, yes. He just swashbuckled there. He doesn't have it, and Pounce, he gets a double kill. Just like that.
Yeah, lands the chains, still had the double damage, really easy cleanup. At this point, Keen Gaming, you should toss Xiaofu to the jungle. There's nothing to be gained in this lane. Even YDS, perhaps just stack the lane, help Erica up top, because you're just feeding kills from Ember Spirit, who's now so far ahead, pre-0 at 7.5 minutes in. A really good start here for Chalice, and you just help Erica. That's really going to be the key here.
It really do need to invest that time. It's between Erica and Blood, because Blood is going to need to set the tempo of the game to Keen. But you may as well just ignore Xiaofu at this point. Like, there's no point helping this Enigma. He can always go to the jungle, and that's exactly what Xiaofu is doing now. He's just not sitting in the lane any longer. I'm on the jungle where I know it's safe. It's not great because you are giving Chalice free farm now on the Ember, but you were basically doing that anyway, plus more. So you're better off to stay on the Ember. Just letting him hit creeps.
Yeah, it's gonna be free farm for the Ember for safe farm for your Enigma. You take that safe farm for Xiaofu. Already has the Necrobooks up, so they kind of wrote out that rough spot, and he is close to level 6. So you're going to be seeing maybe an early investment in Black Hole. We're really not used to that. You do see a lot of heroes, a lot of players actually skip the Black Hole, but they need it, right? Like, just go down the lane, maybe consider going up top, going down mid, drop the Black Hole for 1 kill. That's it. Although, FY. Yeah.
But he's at sitting dark. FY is running away just to ensure he doesn't feed a kill to those units. They're still going to chase him down. In fact, they commit Haunt now, but Stampede comes on FY. He runs out of there. They Haunt onto FY again, so Erica should pick up that kill. But meanwhile, Chalice is taking 3 heroes out by himself. He needs some help. He does go down Somnus. He comes at the wrong time. He gets a bound to strike off, but he's also going to die. Oh, a very messy engagement from LGD. It looked very, very nice to begin with, but just one by one, they kind of walked in, and Chalice just didn't know when to back off.
Yeah, that's a bit. That was really optimistic from LGD to try to take that on. I mean, once they found that kill, should have been prime time to pull out, especially when they saw the Haunt. And now, Keen Gaming gonna be pretty happy with the pickoffs they found. That gave Erica a kill. So you are giving this Spectre something to play with. It's still not much gold. Erica's still behind, but really not as far behind as you'd expect, right? Like 3.5k on our Spectre, considering all the harassment in that lane, isn't quite the slowest start. It's still keeping up with Somnus at the very least, and Somnus had a pretty good start down mid, except for that one death. So I can't really say that the Spectre has been shut down. Eric's still hitting a decent time. As long as you buy that space, and as long as Keen Gaming starts going out, like you see that Black Hole up on Xiaofu, they could go for something here.
Yeah, but look at Somnus right behind him in that invis, just waiting for him to pop it. 11 should be the target. They will not pop it. Somnus, he does just use the balance and now jumps in on Xiaofu. Xiaofu will hold on to the Black Hole. Looks like he ran out of mana anyway. And YDS will lose his courier as well. To make matters worse for Keen, old 11 did getting away from all that.
Yeah, they did expend the Rolling Thunder for that. Not the longest cooldown, but they miss out on a pretty good kill. And you see LGD grouping up. They can push out top lane. This is giving Chalice space on bot to farm by himself. You've got level 6 in FY, so you've got that insane amount of magic damage that can fly out with the Eclipse. This is when the support Luna really starts to shine. Just so much presence once you have that level 6 up.
on top tower taken, though they want to go for a fight, Keen. They still have that black hole. Nice nightmare dodge on the turret for Old 11, but the boat is still going to fly in. Stampede dodge now on the boat. Just nothing connecting on Old 11. Here comes FY with the Eclipse, and now they're on front of black hole. Going to be dropped. It does catch two of them, but it's not going to be anywhere near enough. Challenge, he jumps in. They get Old 11, but they are starting to fall very, very low on the side of Keen Gaming. Torrent is there. It will not land on anything. And now Erica, he's a sitting duck. It's almost a full team wipe. The only man to walk out of there is YDS. And he is not quite out yet. Somnus is making a little bit of a chase, but should be okay. FY Scout, do they really want the full team wipe? Oh, they do.
Yeah.
Balance Strike Eclipse, rather lucid beam, and they get the full team wipe.
Oh man, Keen, that was, well, not quite the ideal setup. They engage solely on Old 11. They throw everything out for the Centaur, which is really not the target you should be aiming for. It's a really tanky hero. And so they expand all these big ults that they need to fight. This just means LGD, they're free to do whatever they want in the map for the next 2 minutes or so. No black hole to worry about. You will have Static Storm, but really without that black hole, it's not looking as scary as you'd expect. And LGD, they have to wait for FY's Eclipse to be up. So that's really the only big cooldown they worry about, but that's a support Lunar, you know? It's not the biggest factor in determining these fights.
It definitely is not. Why am I gonna have a Helm with the Dom up pretty soon now? It's a pretty interesting little strat, John. With that Helm of the Dominator, you get an Alpha Wolf. And with your aura, the bonus damage is kind of insane. If it reaches plus 80% or something on your base damage.
Yeah, it's really a lot of value for the aura stacking. And, you know, that's going to help them pump up. The Monkey King's really going to be enjoying that. Somnus's right click just shoots up from having FY around. So that is a lot of potent value. And, you know, Keen Gaming doesn't quite have any early item spikes like that just yet. Like, best one so far is Xiaofu, Necrobook, and Blood with what looks to be the armlet flying in. So he has a lot more leeway to push the Kunkka to its limits. It's just that this is probably not going to be bursting down many heroes. It's going to prolong Blood's presence, but you're not going to be getting additional damage that can help you melt true key targets on LGD's side.
Yeah, it's going to be rather problematic. Keen are just falling behind again. The 4K network behind. And while you do get those key items up now, they are a bit late, right? Like that armlet timing isn't amazing.
No.
Like, Necro 1 book, yeah, it's basically just to be able to farm the Enigma. Sure, you can push a bit harder, but overall, like, you've got F1 there. No, he's gonna be able to farm up those creeps anyway. In fact, Jeff is actually kind of leaving them there. He wants that Necro creep. He doesn't get it. Haunt is going to fly in. Where are they going? Top lane. It's going to be on X-Nova, but he Nightmare dodges again the Rolling Thunder. He will not get away from the X-Nova, though. But that was 3 ultimates committed for a position 5 Angel.
That wasn't really worth a lot of gold as well. Like, that kill for Blood was 185. So it's really not much. I don't think it's worth popping the Haunt. Granted, Eric is probably not going to be using that anyway, but why are we man fight here?
I don't know why you'd man fight guy. He felt confident with YDS around, but you don't have Totem available, Erica. Go down to Somnus, and even Somnus was confused. It's like, well, hold on a minute. There's a Spectre in my triangle trying to get my boundary, and I'm still here.
Oh man. Just a lot going wrong for Keen. Erica actually opts for the Yasha build-up as well. So you're not going to be seeing like a slow build-up towards Radiance and suddenly a lot of damage and presence for that hero. Not attacking here.
Oh, Black Hole, they do find Somnus. This could be very low worthwhile. And Somnus, bounce fight, but he can't do anything else. It was a very, very nice glimpse onto the Centaur, just forcing Old 11 back down to the bot lane. And Xiaofu saw the opening and just immediately hits that Black Hole. Now Challenge wants to give it a revenge. That chains though. And now with Rolling Thunder, Keen Gaming, they may be able to turn this back. There's a Static Storm now onto that Emperor Spirit. They just don't have the damage. Old 11, he will go straight after that. Ninja Xiaofu will eventually fall. Did manage to get out, and now they're not even running in. They're going to be there with some control and Chalice with chains. They are still going to come out on top. the best gaming got was that Somnus kill. But you're even gonna lose YDS here, who just had to go for the skip creep wave just to try to get there, go for a T2 tower. It's just the more happens, the further they fall behind. Like he poses stuff. I guess they're buying him time.
They're buying time for Spectre to build Blade Mail. Not the most confidence-inspiring build. You can sense that Erica wants to join these fights early, right? Like he wants to contribute to the team faster instead of a Radiance build-up. I don't think that's where Spectre shines. Like, you want the team fights to break off without you. Keen has the tools. They haven't had the opportunity. They just need to get the big black hole, which is easier said than done, of course. And when you expend it solo onto Somnus, afterwards, what do? Without the black hole, without the static storm, LGD can just dance around you. They didn't even have to expend the Eclipse yet on FY, and they're just gonna find Big S again.
Yeah, just, I've got Eclipse, let me use it. He's got the R4 for 12, so plus 30 from the R4, plus 20% from the Home of the Dom, plus 25% from the Lunar Blessing. So all up to my math is great. But I do believe it is going to be 75% base damage added on everyone on his team. 75%. And they're choosing support sniper over this. Can you believe that?
I can, because I've seen it, and it's sad. I can believe that. They're gonna lose their tier 2 over here. They are TPing to defend, and FY.
Lips. The Somnus doesn't want APs. Comes out of YDN. He got that Rolling Thunder by surviving throughout all this. The control is going to be there from YDN. Now the Bean Drip will be there on Erica, but that's also cancelled off an X-Nova. So they are struggling a little bit here, LGD. They may need to back out. Somnus can't get the battle. The Static Storm was there in time for Fantasy, and they are going to lose Somnus as well. Old 11 trying to run away, but he is eventually going to go down. And okay, has a double damage, gets his pants off, almost drops to that slight of 5th damage. He's thinking about going back in. Chalice wants to be wants to clean up blood.
Yeah.
He's gonna go down. Chalice has remnants. He is safe. And that was a really bad team fight for LGD, but I suppose Chalice makes it a little bit better.
Yeah, it's a nice win for Keen. That does give them some key kills. Erica manages to finish up the Blade Mail off the back of that. You saw a really big Static Storm and a really disruptive Rolling Thunder coming out from YDS. FY just got choked out in the wall from all the bounces there, which still bothers me that you can bounce in that angle, but you know, it happens. It's Dota 2 physics, doesn't have to be realistic, and it certainly pays off. They really have to keep doing that again and again. So you have Xiaofu Black Hole now, and the mech. You've got the sustain for Keen Gaming here to keep these fights going. You've got Black Hole. You know there's an opening here where FY doesn't have Eclipse, although it's gonna be it's back up now, but you can certainly make something happen. You don't have the haunt for Erica to just jump in, but if there's a moment for Keen Gaming that looks to be a clean time to fight, this is probably the best bet.
Yeah, they better do that soon as well. Like the Aghanim Scepter's coming out on Y, probably in about 5 minutes or so. Top lane X-Nova going to be caught out. Does Nightmare himself, but is almost certainly dead. Eric picked up a very nice kill for himself on the Spectre, and he is second in network now, so he's feeling good. Feeling a bit better than he was 5-10 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's a better position for our spec. You mentioned some item pickups. You mentioned the Ags for FY. You also have to watch out for Chalice's Ags as well. So he's about 1,000 gold off on the Ember Ags, and we know how much more menacing the Ember Spirit becomes once that Ags is up. Chalice is really close to it, and that's probably going to come even faster than FY's. So Keen has to kind of be aware. I think they've spotted out the point booster earlier on if they checked, but they probably maybe underestimated how much free space Chalice has had. He's only died once. They haven't really kept track of this safe lane Ember, and every single rotation has not caught Chalice out for the most part.
Slow and steady wins the race for King Gaming. They're just gonna bide their time. Smoke is gonna be there from PSG.LGD, and they may not have as much time as they think they do. Jiaofu does back off very nicely though. Good game sense from here to realize something was coming. LGD should very easily be able to just clear out this bottom tier 2 tower. Not exactly what they wanted. They definitely wanted a bonus on top of that, but they'll have to settle for an easy tier 2.
Still a good objective to take, and this does help everyone reach their eggs. Like I mentioned Chalice, you mentioned FY, we can't forget Somnus. He's also just about 300 gold, so all these ags are lining up in a very good timer for LGD. Once Chalice and Somnus get it at the same time, they're really going to be forcing out fights.
Oh, that looking actually disgusting as well. It is so hard to go against that. Top lane, Yule's going to be there on Blood, who was trying to X himself back. Does throw a boner, but now there is more coming in from the side of GT. Nice little clumsy net there on Blood. If Y going to shut up now, there's going to be a TP attempt, but Chalice already had the chains there to cancel. The big pickup. Blood does lose his life.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate.
It's over. They went to put on some handpicks as well. It's going to be a bit of swashbuckle out from YDS. I'm not sure how to pick that off. Fiendscript should have lost. They're still going to go in though. Stampede. Jiaofu does have the black hole, but he doesn't really have an opening right now, and Fantasy's already dead. YDS just going to try and roll himself up. And he should be okay, but no. Somnus Primal Spring just perfect. And he found Jiaofu.
Oh, Somnus, his courier went through the tower, so his Ags is going to be delayed by 3 minutes.
Buyback is there from Fantasy, haunted for Rebecca. They're going to try while Somnus has overextended, and it looks like they should be able to find him. Nice little nightmare dodge attempt. He will not be able to really get it off, and Erica does pick a very important kill for the side of King Gaming. In fact, they're going to try for more now. You've still got that black hole, you may as well just try and commit it on one. They'll find X Nova. Chalice, but he does not want to let Bane die by himself. Looks like he has no choice.
Yeah, it's a good set of kills for Keen. They hold on to Black Hole, so Jiaofu is going to have that option available later on, and he's finally working on his blink. So he wants to play aggressive now that he's finished up the Guardian Greaves. And once you have that blink on Jiaofu, you can really start to see Keen pick up the pace. They have kind of struggled in the fights. They've only been really able to punish whenever LGD overextends. But the blink on Jiaofu should enable them to get so much more done. You take a look at Erica as well. Manta style up and running, Diffusal next. The Fighting Spectre is starting to come online, and the damage that she can pump out is really big. So that's something LGD has to start being aware of. Like, Keen has held out long enough to bounce back in this game, and LGD has misstepped here and there. If they keep giving these tilts away to Keen, you're going to see Erica grow into a bigger and bigger issue.
On that note though, there is the Aghanim Scepter on FY now. You've got it on Chalice, and of course, well, Somnus is just currently waiting for his courier to respawn, but there's big timings now. There could be a herd running at the side of King Gaming, and I'm not sure if they can really take the amount that's going to be falling at them. It's really going to hurt, especially with that Eclipse.
Yeah.
Underestimate how much damage it is, and the FY is already level 15. It's not like he's under level.
Now, the hard thing for Keen is that they don't have a pipe to mitigate that damage. So it's always going to be a lot of value. You do have a BKB, at least on Blood, so you have a fresh 10-second charge just to mitigate that damage and the control. But beyond that, the rest of the team will be taking hard hits from FY.
Roshan could have taken very easily by LGD. Bottom lane, they have to force it, and they do so, but the tier 2 is going to be perfectly safe. LGD will show up at top lane, they'll force in that tier 2 tower, and quite frankly, they take tier 2 towers a lot quicker if they choose to actually hit. For now, they're just going to let the creep wave do that work.
Yeah, it's probably just looking for the response from Keen, but I don't think Keen really wants to defend that anymore. They're gonna have to just give it away. It's gonna be really hard playing into the Aegis, although. Nah.
Not Chalice now. Like, you're either gonna get the X, the static black hole. You don't want to commit the black hole just on the Ember. You would if you had to. You are still pretty far behind if you can. You could actually find a kill opportunity, you'll take it.
For sure. On fact, Chalice.
Bot lane, smoked up. They got the Ags out of them, which is why they make this quick rotation. They're actually pincering in from the river as well. Everyone just taking their own route. The X gonna get scouted out, but he also saw Somnus so he's just gonna roll in Thunder away. Gaming, they do avoid a very important game from LGD, so be happy about that one. They do also have the high ground advantage right now, but LGD are still running in. It's only old weapon right now. He gets a move stop off and he flips back. What comes out of your vision? Chalice, are you really jumping in? He is. Blood is gonna be there. He does not have X at the moment, so Chalice can just do whatever he wants. Dalfu does have flipped up, just waiting for the perfect opportunity for himself to get a big black hole available. It won't really come out. But he remains very, very split, not showing the hand quite yet. And nobody finds.
Yeah, they did have to spend the haunt from Keen without Erica finding anything, so they're not going to have that tool to jump into the back line as the next fight breaks out. That's something Keen has to really be careful about now. Erica is still going to be a bit exposed without having the haunt for easy access.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
We'll smoke up.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
You do spot Eric up the top lane, and Eric just doesn't want to sit in base right now. Does save his TP scroll, so he should be okay, but it's nobody. It's fine. Now the Eclipse does scout him out. Nightmare is going to be there for next month. That was a little unnecessary, but it doesn't matter. They find a huge kill on the OGE, and I guess it's another
Chalice?
Sipstone. You can actually scout with this Chalice. Yeah, straight after Fantasy. Well, Fantasy doesn't want to commit Static Storm because there's no one there to really follow up with the DPS, and now he's also called Zhao Fu. Gets a content off. One gets hit around the corner. Now the Stampede coming in at a hoop stop as well as a Primal Spring. Somnus is going to be there with that damage. Getting picked off 1-1.
Yeah, not a good time for Keen. They hold on to their ult. Eclipse is always going to be 140 seconds. It's a bit of a long wait. But with the support Luna as well, the push is super darn fast.
Well, GD happily to go after this T3 tower. And King Gaming may just feel the necessity to leave it. In fact, LGD don't want to risk anything more. They know those big ultimates are still up. They'll take a tier 3 and just take their time. They're 12k ahead. They've got the whole map to. That's Somnus. It's not very convincing, Somnus. Trees got to throw on top of trees, but it's worked out for it.
Wouldn't he spawn a soldier? Oh no, not as a.
No.
Yeah, okay.
Oh. Maybe Malithus there on Chalice. Somnus is still waiting for the moment to jump in. Kinetic build not going to lock anyone in. Chalice just trying to get out. He actually has no remnants, but he does have an Aegis. Meanwhile, Erica trying to find X Nova in the back lines. Wukong's command is going to come out from Somnus, but it's really on nobody. But 3-man control here as Zhao jumps in. 3-man black hole is cancelled straight away. Erica is falling very, very low. He's just trying to run out of there. Chalice is still on top of all of them. He still has his Aegis, by the way. He finally loses it, but no, in fact, he wasn't even dead yet. He does. Oh, it did expire. The Nightmare Saint Rex Nova costs him. He wanted to die. Somnus still gonna fight with the Battle Strike. Does get all the kills anyway. Fantasy, well, he knows. Somnus doesn't want to die for this, but he'll actually miss to dodge one of the lightning strikes, and that does allow him to survive. My God.
Oh, God. Jeez. Playing on the edge there, but that was still, of course, a win for LGD. They managed to bait out the ults, They got the kills they wanted. That death on Chalice hurts though. Like you saw what he was trying to do. He was standing in the middle. He wanted to die. He was denied his death and reincarnation by Xnova. That was literally just like a fraction of a second off from when he died. The expiry.
Yeah, that's
so that definitely costed them.
That's what we call supporting too good. You know, just too much support from Xnova. Chalice's point out he can. It does no damage. Xnova's just like, oh, was that a boat?
He's fine.
Yeah. See ya. Oren? No. Xnova has a haste rune apparently.
That was your core Kunkka's full combination up against a support Bane who only has really the Glimmer Cape to mitigate that damage. That's really telling of the state of game right now for Keen, right? Like, this is what is going on for them. They're 19k behind. You still have some decent progression on Erica, working towards the Skadi next. It's just, he's lagging behind so hard now. 12.5k compared to even old 11's 15k. Like, 2.5k isn't too much gold, but when you consider everyone else is actually behind Erica on his team, there's just not enough there in terms of itemization to boost their potential, to boost their power. Like, they need those big black holes from Xiaofu. He's saving up for the BKB next. But when you don't catch that Bane, your BKB is not going to do anything.
We've seen it pretty much every team fight. Like, the Haunt is there from Erica straight onto Xnova every single time. But, as you saw, Xnova doesn't die very easily. That Glimmer Cape is really going to help him out quite a lot every time that Haunt does come out as well. Like, it's never really going to be able to burst Xnova down fast enough. It's rough, especially when you're 19k behind you are Keen Gaming, and the Dota Plus is still giving him a decent chance, 10% chance for Keen Gaming to win this game, so that's the Spectre and Enigma factor, I'm sure, kicking in.
Yeah, I wouldn't say 10% is decent though. Like, if those are betting odds, Monk, I would not want to bet with you.
So, Chalice gonna start an engagement by himself, but his team is leading in. Where are they going? They on Erica on the That's the biggest kill you could hope for. Can you deal enough damage fast enough though? FY is just holding Eclipse right now, just waiting for that perfect moment. Meanwhile, Wukong's command from Sommer's holding everyone in, and now the Eclipse will come out. Blood has the BKB, but it means nothing. Everyone's down without buyback apart from that Disruptor. And somehow YDS did not die through that because he was farming the mid-wave.
That cutoff should give them some time, but they're gonna rush into your forts anyway.
Yeah. GG. That's enough. Well, clean. There's no way to defend.
No. Really not. Even with a black hole up, it's just not gonna be enough. Really clean sequence from MD and just perfect execution in game one. Closer in game two, like Keen definitely showed up with better fights, with a stronger draft, up against what LGD